This is David Wildman and you're watching BTech. First, as usual, I want to give a shout to our sponsors Direct Mobiles, who we're still running this competition with to win a Huawei P20 Pro. So if you haven't entered, click the link below for your chance to win. Also, thanks again to our sponsors Direct Mobiles, we have Sony Week starting on the 31st of May, where we'll have lots of Sony content. Direct Mobiles will also have special deals on Sony handsets, and there'll be another competition giveaway. So if you want to be the first to know about that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay informed with all that we do here at BTech. Now on with the show. Today I'm taking a look at the Sony XA2 and the XA2 Ultra. Two very smart looking mid-range handsets from Sony. I really do like the look of these. Although not to everybody's taste, I really was a fan of the Omnibanix design language, and these two phones seem to pull it off quite well. Sharp, sleek lines, let down by the fact that the construction is plastic. But nevertheless, they still look good and feel fairly good in the hand. Underneath there's a USB-C connector and a bottom firing speaker. On the top of the device they've included a headphone jack, which is nice. On the side you'll find the volume rocker and the power button, which is nicely placed, as well as the dedicated camera button, which I always like to see on a phone. They both have Full HD IPS level LCD displays in a 16:9 aspect ratio. The display on the XA2 is 5.2 inches, while the XA2 Ultra has a nice large 6-inch screen. But I've noticed that even though the smaller device has a higher pixel density, it seems like the XA2 Ultra's screen still has more vibrance and depth to the colours, making it a much nicer viewing experience. Both of these displays are covered in Gorilla Glass 4, which I think would have really set these devices off if it wrapped around the back. Under the hood, the XA2 has 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, which is upgradable to 256GB through microSD support. The XA2 Ultra has the same amount of storage, but comes with 4GB of RAM, and it's also upgradable to 256GB. They both run Android 8 and are powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 630s. So that's the boring techie stuff out the way, but what's this phone really like? And is it worth the £379 Sony want for it? Well, thanks to its great design, I really enjoy using the XA series. The fingerprint scanner is in just the right place, although it is kind of annoying. It only gives you 3 or 4 chances to unlock the phone before it reverts to asking you for a PIN. The trouble is it's not that accurate at actually recognising your fingerprint. So by the time you've picked it up, it may have tried to read your finger 2 or 3 times already. So by the time you try properly, it's telling you that you have to use a PIN. Can be a bit annoying. Both the XA2 and XA2 Ultra have bottom firing mono speakers, which I think sound really good. Okay, they don't produce as full a sound as maybe a stereo setup would, but for a single speaker, sounds very good. I think the best thing about these phones are the edge-to-edge screens. They're very bright and sharp, giving an excellent viewing experience, although as I mentioned before, it's better on the Ultra. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is the camera tech. On the back we have a 23 megapixel X-More for mobile sensor with an f2.0 lens, and on the front you'll find a 16 megapixel camera with an f2.0 lens, and a secondary 8 megapixel camera with an ultra wide f2.4 lens and 120 degree field of view for extra wide selfies. Sony haven't used this tech to give you portrait style selfies. Instead, one camera is a close-up and one camera gives you an extra wide field of view. I was hoping that with 2 front-facing cameras, the picture quality was going to be spot on, but it's pretty average to be honest. I like the results from the ultra-wide camera. They're fun for a bit, but I think a portrait mode would have been more fun. Picture quality from the rear-facing camera is much better, but it still leaves something to be desired. I have a feeling this camera could be a lot better if it had better software. Using the auto mode, sometimes I've realised that it's pushed up the ISO way too high and unnecessarily, leaving some shots looking a bit blurry. I found I got much better results if I took control of the ISO in Pro mode. The nighttime performance is okay, seems a bit aggressive again with the software on noise reduction, but if the light is not too low then the results aren't that bad. All in all, I really like both of these phones. Yeah, they have their shortcomings, but value-wise they're great. Excellent screen, fantastic sound, and a fairly decent camera. I think the two phones really complement each other. They kind of make you want to have both, one to suit each mood. For watching content or playing games, you definitely want the XA2 Ultra with its large 6-inch screen. But maybe if I was going out for the evening, I'd want to take the XA2. It's small, but it's not too small. It's a good size. And when you consider that you can pick up both of these handsets for around about the same price, if not less than some of today's flagships, then getting both is something that some people will consider. So that's it from me. Our competition to win a Huawei P20 Pro is still open to the 31st of May, so if you haven't entered that already, just check the description and click the link below to be in with your chance to win. As usual, leave a like or a dislike, and I'll see you next time.